Empeccable family, we are back with the awesome, the talented, the voice of the millennials, Mr. Fly Guy DC himself. How are you doing today?
I'm good. And yourself?
Pretty good. Before you start, you want to give any shout outs to anybody?
Shout out to everybody who supports me. Shout out to the city of Atlanta. They're amazing. And the man upstairs. Can't do nothing without him.
Amen to that. So, being Mr. Fly Guy DC, you are from the DMV.
Yes.
So how was it transitioning and make your name Fly Guy DC in Atlanta? Was there any challenges, any pushbacks, or are you just staying strong in the DC?
Well, when I first moved down here, my mom moved down here. I was 15. She moved down in 2007. And by me being from DC, I went to Monroe High School, which is actually on the south side. They just started calling me DC. Now, when I got to Monroe, I played basketball, football, and baseball. So, I've never wanted to do entertainment. Even when I got to college, I graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice and never even attempted to be an entertainer. And the DC name just stuck with me. And then they started calling me Fly Guy because of the way I dressed. Now, back in 2007, when I came down here, Atlanta was on the Tall T stage, they were on the Jabot stage, the Air Force One stage, but me being from DC, our clothes were always fitted. So I always had the jeans that was fitted, I had the Nike boots, the foam posits, and everything of that nature. So from the way I dressed and moved down here, it just altered what they called me, and then when they gave me, it was such a Fly Guy DC at first. And then I ran with that and then changed it to Fly Guy DC just to progress myself, and it's more of a mature rather than such a Fly Guy DC.
Okay. So starting with Scores Nightclub, tell us about...
How do you know that?
Hey, do your research,
Wow.
y'all. Starting with Scores Nightclub, tell us about the transition from how you started there to where you are now on Streets 94.5.
Man, oh man, Scores was the stepping stone, the first club that ever even attempted to let me touch the microphone in their club. They actually asked one of my friends who I played basketball with, high school basketball with, his name was Sean Stringfellow. He was supposed to host a party. Now, at the time, I didn't know it was hosting a party. I just knew it as talking on the mic. So he was shy, nervous, and I just grabbed the mic, and then me being a people's person, just ran with it. And then from there, the same promoters who booked me at Scores, which was Jamari, Thrax, Trizzy, J-Rock, J-Dot, Meezy, Fergie, all of them, they threw more parties throughout the week. So from Scores, which was on a Tuesday, then they would go to maybe Obsessions on a Friday or Saturday. So then they liked what I was doing on Tuesday, so they started booking me there. And then from there, it just went insane. I started taking it serious when I got my first out-of-town booking. I was booking in Ohio by Rebel Visions, Tone, and Benji, and they paid for me to get there. They paid for me to get back. They paid for my hotel. They quadrupled my money, and I'm just like, okay, so it's money in this, and I actually like it. So then I grew a passion for it, and me being the host that I was and having the following and demographic that I had, the radio station reached out to me. The owner, Steve Hagewood, reached out to me, and when he reached out to me, he commented on one of my pictures, because I used to post my shoes on my Instagram, and he commented and was like, email me ASAP, and I emailed him, and he didn't email me back until maybe 3 years later.
Wow.
So in that time of the 3 years that he didn't email me back, I mean, of course I didn't stop. I was still doing everything I was doing. I started hosting college stuff. I started doing pep rallies, taking over proms, just everything of that nature. And then he finally reached out to me again and was like, come into the station. Brought me into the station the first day, and when he brought me into the station, it was no training, mind you. I've never trained. I never was an intern in media. I never wanted to do anything with radio or hosting. And he put me on, he gave me some paperwork and was like, decide what you want to do. Bring me back the paperwork. You got a week. I'm just like, in my mind, I'm like, okay, I know I want to do it, but I'm going to act like I don't want to do it. So I was like, okay, cool. Next day I brought him the paperwork, and he put me directly on air with DJ Holiday, Sticks Malone, and Brooke, and I became a part of their show for about a year and a half. And then things got crazy because another radio station came here, which was iHeart, and it shuffled the market. And I wasn't on contract at the time with Streets, so he basically was forced to make a decision, because other stations were offering me contracts for me to come to their station, so it was a bidding war. And then, I mean, I chose to stay with Streets because not only did they give me my first platform, but it made the most sense. They gave me my own show. So now I'm not passenger seat driver on someone else's show, which isn't a bad thing, but I could improve myself as a radio personality by not having my own shows because the ratings come in, they're not my numbers. I'm just the addition on the show. So I chose to stay at Streets solely because of that decision right there, because it could give me the opportunity to prove my worth. So now it's like if I decide to go somewhere else, it's like, okay, now I'm in the driver's seat. You got to give me exactly what I want because you just seen my numbers these last 2 years.
Wow. Wow. Inspiring. Okay,
Crazy.
so you are, I would consider you an entrepreneur.
Yes.
And you are passionate. You are doing what you want to do, in a sense, right?
Yes.
So on a previous interview, you were talking about how you did not have any role models. See, research, you keep getting surprised.
Wow.
That you did not have any role models, but you are your own example for, success, for being inspired, for getting to the next level. So what can you tell those out there who are just now getting into the game and want to be in this entertainment business, but don't know who to look up to and don't know how to challenge themselves to get to the next level?
Well, me directly, and I'm going to look into the camera and say this. But me directly, I didn't have a mentor. I didn't have a role model. No one gave me the game. Like, I didn't watch other hosts. I didn't watch other radio personalities. So if this game is something you want to get into, no matter if it's entertainment, if it has hosting, radio, anything of that nature, anything that has to do with entertainment, first and foremost, the industry is full of fakeness. The industry is full of people telling you lies and using you for what you can provide or what you can bring to the table. The best advice I can give you is create your own lane. You create your own lane, you become a demand, and you become a need, then everything else doesn't matter. Because when you're a want compared to when you're a need, it's two different situations. They treat you different when you're a need, and they treat you completely different when you're a want. So if this is something you want to do, it can be done. Like I said, I never wanted to do this, and it just happened. So if it's something that you want to do, just stay consistent at it. Stay very consistent. And understand that your net worth is your net worth. So that's the only way you're going to survive in this industry, because sometimes it's about who you know, and talent doesn't mean anything. If I don't know the right people, or politic-wise, I don't know the right people, even though I may be the most talented, I still might not get the position. So, just make sure you network, stay consistent at what you want to do. And, the sky's the limit from there. Nobody can tell you that you can't do anything you don't want to do. So, the industry, like I said, it's a great industry to be in. But just take your time, be patient, and don't look for no handouts. Because if you look for a handout, then everybody's going to feel like you owe them something once you own.
So, speaking on being the youngest in charge, are you constantly challenged because of when you first started, because of your age? Or do you still have to continually prove yourself, show that you're the guy, you're in charge, and you're what's happening right now? You are Fly Guy DC.
I wouldn't say I still have to prove myself to this day, but I do have to stay consistent and maintain the name and maintain what everybody else is calling me and everything of that nature. As far as proving myself when I first started, yeah, I had to prove myself consistently. Nobody thought that, I'm 26. Every other radio personality is 33 plus. Every other host has been in the game 10 plus years. I've only been in the game 5.5 years. So I had to prove myself in the beginning. But after maybe once I got the show, then everything else went out the window. Because I leveled up everything and made people respect it even more, because now you can't tell me that I'm not doing what I want to do, or I'm not making the numbers that I want to make, because ratings don't lie and people don't lie. So the proving myself has dimmed down, but it never was a proving myself to people, because I personally don't care what people have to say or what people think, because it's not making a difference in my pockets or in my life. So, as far as proving myself, I wanted to prove to me before anybody else. Outside of that, no, I really don't have to prove myself. I just stay consistent in what I do, because consistency is key. If I'm not consistent, then somebody else can come and take my spot just like that.
Hit you deep. Okay, so shifting gears a little bit, going to giving back to the community. I know you're really big on mentorship. So can you explain to us what you're doing now and how you're using your platform to, reach back to the youth, because they are important and they look up to people like you, Flag IDC. And it is so important in this day and age to have positive influences in the media like Flag IDC to really be an example and to really touch the young people and to inspire them for a more positive path.
Hey, you're absolutely right. I mean, me first and foremost, I do so much in the community, and I feel that I'm a great role model because the industry that I'm in, I've never smoked, I've never drank, I've never even done a hookah. So me being a radio personality or being around artists, being around people that drinks all the time or being in the club 24/7, I feel like that's a major step and a lot of clarification to the youth because it shows that you don't have to be forced into peer pressure to do this or to do that. It shows that you can be yourself and you don't have to be what everybody else is on to be in that limelight or to be lit. As far as what I do in the community, man, I mean, it's so much. I take over all the high school proms and bring their favorite artists. I take over the pep rallies. I have a pep rally tour. Career days. I go speak at schools, elementary schools, middle schools, all year long. Reading program that I do with Farai Simmons. He has a reading program. I come along with that and read to elementary school kids. I do a lot of Thanksgiving, Christmas, every holiday. I do a lot of like drives, or I'm a part of drives and everything of that nature. I mean, it's so much I do in the community. And the biggest thing is, I don't think that people understand, or people in my position understand. A lot of people do it just because it makes it look good. I, on the other hand, it has nothing to do with making it look good. I know I'm making a difference in these kids' lives because their parents come up to me when I'm out and about, or when I'm eating, or I can be anywhere walking in the mall, and a parent will come up to me and be like, my kid came home talking about you, blah, blah, this, blah, blah, that. My kid said that they look up to you, and the best feeling in the world is when I do the career days, at the beginning before, I mean, some of them know who I am, some of them don't know who I am. But at the beginning, before I do everything in the career day, I always started with, what do you want to be when you get older? And every kid in there, nobody says they want to be like me, a radio personality. They all have their own things of what they want to be. But by the end of the session and by the end of the 30 minutes of me talking to the class, I ask them again, what do they want to be? And every single kid is like, I want to be like you. I want to be like you.
Yeah.
Like, that's the best feeling in the world. And like I said, I know it's real because I'm giving them exactly what they don't hear. Now, hearing it from your parents is cool. Hearing it from your family is cool. But hearing it from someone who's more in your demo compared to every other radio personality or host, who can relate to you more compared to every other radio personality and host, and who appeals to you more, because I don't look like I'm 27 years old. I look like I'm about 18 years old, so I appeal to the youth, and they take it in more, which is a blessing to me because, like I said, if I was a 40-year-old radio personality with gray hair and old and big and stocky, then the kids wouldn't gravitate to me as much as they gravitate to me now because of my appearance. So, I mean, I just feel like that plays a major role, and it's the greatest feeling in the world when those kids at the end, and I have countless videos of all of them just like, we want to be like you, we want to be like you, like to the point to where the schools are begging me to come back to their school off of the simple fact of the impressions that I left on the kids. Like, kids won't let me leave the classroom after career day based off of how happy they are. So, I mean, that's just the greatest feeling in the world. And like I said, I mean, I do it not because I have to, but because I want to. Like, I don't get paid to do anything for schools, like pep rallies, and just to compare, if I go do something at Clark Atlanta or Morehouse, I'm getting paid for it. But when it comes to a middle school, elementary school, or high school, I don't even want no money. They have budgets for it. I just don't want no money. I do it off of the simple fact of it's something that I want to do. Mind you, I go host a club. I'm done hosting at 3 o'clock, getting to bed by 4 o'clock, but I go wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning to go to a school to speak for a career day or go read to the kids. And yet again, a lot of people won't do that. A lot of people just sometimes do it because it looks good and it makes them look good, but I'm doing it because I want to do it, not because I need to do it.
You graduated in 2016, right?
Yes.
From Clark Atlanta University.
Yes.
So for those who are debating between going to college, getting a trade, just being an entrepreneur, what do you think would be a great word of advice for those who are going through this transition and even debating when it comes to finances and affording college and, you know, just continuing with higher education? What are your thoughts?
My thoughts on, first and foremost, on school in general. And I don't want no one watching this or seeing this or reading this or hearing this to take it the wrong way. But, I mean, everybody's situation is different. I'm not going to say you don't need school. I'm not going to say you need school. And I'll say that because, yet again, I graduated with a bachelor's in criminal justice, and I'm not doing nothing of that nature. Now, on the other hand, if I wouldn't have been in school, then I wouldn't have been hosting all the college stuff and probably wouldn't be where I'm at today. So it's a give and a take. But as far as finances, when it comes to that, I mean, us as African Americans just only look, or we don't search as much as we need to. And just to go in a little bit more detail when it comes to finances, there's scholarships for everything. There's grants for everything. And if I would have had the knowledge that I have now when I was back at Clark Atlanta, then everything would have been free, because there's scholarships for being left-handed. There's scholarships for wearing a size 8.5 in a sneaker. Like, there's scholarships for having 2 ears pierced. Like, it's just scholarship. It's free money out there everywhere, and it's just a matter of us taking the time and looking for it and finding it. So if you do want to go to school, do it. I mean, if finance is an issue, then, I mean, you have to look into grants. You have to look into loans and even look into scholarships. I mean, it's so much money that the government has to give away that is just sitting, and we don't know about it because we're so busy on Instagram. We're so busy worrying about social media. The time that you're on social media, if you're looking for grants, I guarantee you, you can pay for your whole college, your whole 4 years of college. So it's just a matter of us looking and finding and actually searching for it and taking the time for it as much as we're on social media or as much as we're trying to please someone. So, I mean, school is very, very important. But like I said, I don't want to be on the fence and say that you need it or you don't need it. But there's a lot of things that you can learn in school that you can't learn if you're not in school. And that goes with book smart, that goes with street smart, that goes with meeting people, networking. I mean, it's just it's a whole lot of things a whole lot of pros that come from going to college. But then again, there's a whole lot of cons if you don't do the research and get these grants and these scholarships. So, I mean, it's a give and a take situation and a very touchy situation based on who's hearing this and who's listening. So I'm not playing both sides just because I'm doing an interview. I'm just being real. Like, I don't want to choose a side, first off, because I need to be politically correct.
So you are African American.
Yes.
You're a man.
Yes.
You're in the radio station, entertainment field, industry. You're everything, right?
Yes.
Oh, in our eyes, you are. So, how can we go about better supporting you, better supporting other African Americans on the rise, other Black-owned businesses? What can we do as another Black-owned business to go about better supporting you all?
First and foremost, well, this interview is, the support is already there from jump. So that's the first thing. And I mean, just as far as you all and us as a community, as African American entertainers, entrepreneurs, I mean, we just have to, it's self-sufficient. Like, we know what we need to do, and it's not even something that needs to be spoken. I mean, it's just, we don't support each other enough. And that comes from, I mean, just everything, because the mindset of us is we don't want nobody to be bigger than us. We don't want to compete with nobody and everything of that nature. But at the end of the day, if we're bettering, even if we're competing with each other, we're still bettering each other, because if I'm competing with my brother who's an African American, or if I'm competing with anybody at that sake, and they're on a top tier, bigger level than me, then you're gonna make me want to get to that level. So I mean, it's an unspoken rule that shouldn't even have to be said. But yet again, this interview is more than enough support, to be completely honest.
Yay! Thank you.
No problem.
So, a few more questions. Where are you going next? What's next for you? What's on the rise with your affiliations? What is next?
TV.
Woo!
And I'll keep that short and slim. You'll see me on TV very, very soon with my own show, Point Blank Pretty. Outside of TV, I mean, just me bettering myself as a person, me bettering myself as a young African American man, me leading the youth, me becoming more of a culture shifter than I am now, me continuing to break your favorite artists, me continuing to give the artists who don't think they have a shot, me continuing to make your nightlife better. I mean, everything that I do, every single aspect, I make sure that I'm the best at it. And that's just not my opinion. I don't do anything if I'm not going to be the best at it. So when it comes to anything I do, if it's hosting in a club, if it's being a radio personality, if it's me being a leader in the community, anything of that nature, I'm going to be the best at it. Like Point Blank Pretty. So, I mean, it's so much coming for me, and I don't even know how to take it. I've been traveling the world. I've been hosting festivals of 30, 40,000 plus people. Like, it's just so much coming so fast at an early time. Most people don't get to do this in their career until they're 35, 40.
50.
Well, yeah, like DJ Khaled he's been out for the longest. And a radio personality, started as a radio personality, then became a culture shifter, then a DJ, but DJ Khaled's like 35, 40. And he's doing an amazing job, but he didn't get his break until late. And it's a blessing for me to be able to even be in this field at a young age doing what I'm doing. I'm highly blessed and I'm highly supported. So, I mean, it's just so much more coming from me. And it's so much more that I don't even know is coming from me because I'm only 27. So, man, it's just going to be crazy. These next couple of years is going to be crazy.
We believe that, yeah. So, what makes you impeccable?
Man, my drive.
Big question.
My drive, my consistency, just all around. I'm just a phenomenal guy when it comes to family, when it comes to relationships, when it comes to encouraging people, when it comes to schools, when it comes to anything I do. Like, I'm just a phenomenal guy, and I'm not perfect. No one's perfect, but I try to be as perfect as I can just to make everybody happy. I'm impeccable because I don't give up. On top of that, I'm very loyal, I'm very honest, I'm very responsible. Like, it is even if you want to take it to the parameter of the youth, I don't drink, I don't smoke, I've never done hookah. Like, I'm just impeccable because of everything about me, from left, front, right, back. Everything just clicks so well together, and it makes me who I am and makes me one of a kind. And I know that's cliche because everybody say they're one of a kind, but in this entertainment industry, when you say one of a kind, there's not too many that you can say are like that. You have artists trying to sound like artists, or you can be like, this artist sound like this artist. When it comes to Fly Guy DC, it's not, oh, he sound like this host. Oh, he sound like this radio personality. Oh, he's trying to be like blah, blah. You will never, ever hear that about my name, ever. So that's what makes me impeccable.
There you have it. So for those who don't know, where can we find you on social media, and where can we listen to you?
You can find my social media. All my social media is at I am Fly Guy DC. Once again, that's at I am Fly Guy DC. Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. I'm on Streets 945. That is a station in Atlanta. If you're outside of Atlanta, you can download the TuneIn app, or you can go on the website, www.streets945atl.com. You can hear me on there. Once again, Monday through Friday, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. And also, my website is www.flyguydc.com.
Thank you, Impeccable. There you have it. Until next time.